So we have students here from all around the world, from Thailand to the United States. Most will be watching the recording. With your permission, I'll record the meeting. So most have classes, work at this time. Some are already sleeping, some have not woken up yet. So we'll record the meeting. And so today we have a very interesting company. And I received a very interesting question from the speaker here. He asked, can we perform a live surgery in front of the camera? Would it be too graphic? Well, that's the first one. So I guess I suppose we want a little more action, but I wonder if it may be too graphic. I mean, it's invasive surgery? Like, will we see like a scalpel and blood or?
Also, because you can perform both, actually, both in the surgical room with more, let's say,
Maybe we'll keep it till the end in case some people are uncomfortable with
yes.
medical procedures performed in front of their eyes, in front of the camera. So that way they can leave, and then we'll just decide if we include it in the recording. So depending on how graphic it gets. But yes, I guess that's wonderful. We actually want to see your equipment in action. So I guess that's the best way to learn it. But our main goal here is to learn more about the company, its history, product, founder, but also the current business model, market, maybe approaches to marketing, logistics, markets they operate, so that you students know enough about the company to work on the challenge. And then maybe a few words about what the students need to be working on. And I'm not sure if you planned a little structured presentation first, or can we get right
I planned it.
Okay. Yeah, so then go ahead. And yeah, so I do have quite a few questions already prepared for you. A number of students send those questions in advance, saying that they cannot attend live. Please ask this or that. So, but let's start with the structured presentation, short, and then Q&A. And students, so you have comment windows, so comments, you can comment or ask questions there, but also you have the Q&A window. And so you can also ask there. And don't be shy. If you want to engage in a live conversation, raise your hand. We'll allow you to talk, so you can join us here in this virtual conference meeting room.
Fantastic.
So, but yes, Alessandro, back to you. So tell us about LaserVet.
Okay, so let me start by sharing the screen. Okay, so
it should work now.
Fantastic. Okay.
It's working now.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So, hello everyone. I'm here to talk to you about LaserVet, our Italian-based business. I'm going to be talking about our company, our products, our value proposition, and then the challenge you are here to do. First of all, this is our company is 12 years old, Italian veterinarian-only laser firm. We have currently 800 best-in-class clients and 3 distributors, one in Italy, one in Spain, and one in Poland. And we started just last week with our first distributor in Romania, who signed off yesterday, I guess. So our clients are 650 in Italy, 50 in Spain, 10 in Poland, and 10 in all the other areas. We're looking to expand now in other markets, and we are very, very small, let's say micro multinational enterprise, because we're just 3. And so it's a family business. We turn more or less 400 to 500k euros a year, with 100k in euros in EBIT. And what we do is we develop and sell veterinary laser equipment for veterinarian-only purposes, for all types of purposes. We have currently 2 products. We are launching a 3rd product, next generation product, in the oncoming months. Our top product is the iVet. It is 5-in-1 functions with 1 wavelength, 10 watts of power, all the protocols for veterinarian purposes. It's in English and it's very intuitive and easy. And we also have our second-class machine, which is mostly in Italian, but it's less intuitive, and less pricey on the second part of the echelon of price. And these are our products. Let's talk a bit more on where we are in the value chain. So
Alessandro,
first of
can
all,
I ask a few questions about the products?
yes,
Students send them before, so in fact, there are quite a few sent by
absolutely.
email. So one, when you say laser, so that's not for optical needs, that's for cutting or for what
Yes,
is?
okay. So laser technology, according to the amount of power you employ, can become first a therapeutic laser. So you put it on the skin or on your wounds, and it helps regrow your hair, or it helps the biostimulation of the damaged tissue. So this is the first part, the first use. But we're gonna look at it quite okay. But we can get there now. So
Oh, yeah, and I'm sorry if you
generally,
planned to
yeah,
talk about that anyway. So because there were quite a few questions about what
yes.
exactly do
So
those lasers do? Yes, is it
yes. So
therapeutic or cutting
yes.
or looking,
Yes. So
viewing?
according to the different types of sets and protocols you employ, which range in power, in wavelength, in duration, and in type of wave you employ, you can perform basically four types of procedures, four types of macro procedures. So the effects of laser on skin and on tissue is antalgic, so it diminishes pain. The second effect is the biostimulation, so it helps the tissue to regrow organically. And the third part is if you employ a higher wavelengths and power, it has a cutting effect. Okay, so it's employed for surgery. So these are the current applications of laser technology into medical and veterinary fields. And this is basically these are basically the uses.
And so you do all of that, or your machine does a
Our
specific?
machine does all of them. We also
Ah,
employ another um, use which has been developed throughout these 12 years, which is the acupuncture effect. So it can also do a deep treatment in some tissues,
uh-huh.
and so perform the acupuncture-like effects.
Okay, and then you keep highlighting that this is only for veterinarians. Is that
Yes.
only because of the licensing and permissions,
Well,
or there is actually a technical difference, mechanical difference, or
well,
technological difference that makes them suitable for some animals but not for humans?
yes. First of all, the basic principle we're applying is that we are using this laser technology in the veterinary field, and we are currently, let's say, positioning ourselves in the veterinary field because big companies which employ bigger machines and which have gone through a lot of, let's say, certifications and standards can get into the human market. And so there's a difference in what it's exactly what you said. So there's a difference in the certifications you have to get in order to become such a firm. So to become able to perform your laser application, to sell laser machines for human activity, for human treatments. But we saw this niche, let's say, but it's not a niche anymore. 12 years ago, in which there was absolutely no, let's say, area in which there was, the animal field was not full of options in this way. So we found our blue ocean, we got into it.
A few more questions that I need to ask again, sent by email. Animals, do you specialize in a specific animal like cats, dogs, or cattle,
Yes.
or is it more universal? And
Okay.
also mammals or also reptiles, or how
Yes.
does it work?
Well, by now, the market for these type of procedures, which are one-by-one procedures, and which are mainly for small and medium surgery and also therapeutic treatments, We have seen that the market for this is mainly in pets. So we're getting to the, let's say, customer base of dogs, cats, rabbits, and sometimes and horses. These are the biggest animals the biggest amount of animals we treat with our lasers. But we have been doing we have sold actually to 3 zoos who have their own veterinarians who have employed our lasers for tigers, for reptiles, for parrots, and for yeah, any kind of animal, let's say. What we've been selling also, but it's been not many numbers, is in the cattle industry. Since the logics are a bit different in mass production, and this is a type of application which is done one by one. Generally, owners of farms prefer to employ, let's say, medical and drugs in order to treat for mass production than the use of laser, which is one by one.
Mhm, mhm. A couple more, if I may. Um, Design and production. So this looks like a sophisticated machine. And so did you design it? Do you actually make it in Italy? Again, I'm sorry if you already have a slide, but
Yeah, no,
I figured
that's
that it would be all
that's
about the products because it
that's
looks like
okay.
something you cannot just make in a garage or at home. So it does
Yes.
require probably some serious technology and assembly.
Yes, yes. So we have 2 manufacturers. One is Italian, and the other one is from Holland. From the Netherlands, from the Netherlands. And what we have is we told the characteristics, we develop and deploy the characteristics of the laser, and the manufacturer makes the product. So it's our laser, let's say. You will not find the same laser somewhere else because the characteristics are just for us, and also the cover is just for us.
Mhm. Thank you.
So, and we then assemble it in our place by adding the fiber wires and the handles from another manufacturer, which is Dutch.
Mhm.
Uh, and so we put it all together, but the basic machine it is still a general purpose laser, and we put all together the wires and the handlings. We also insert the protocols inside the software. Protocols
Mhm.
are a set of preset parameters for the laser, as we said, the wavelength, the power, the timing, and the specifications of the wave. And those are tailored among these 12 years we've been deploying them and developing them with veterinarians from Italy and around. And so this is another thing. We're going to talk about it in a second. Then we do the sales and distribution. And the basic part of it and the most important part of it is to get to know the veterinarian. So it's generally one-to-one.
Mhm.
And then we offer training and technical support, and also counseling on what therapy and what procedure to perform best in our after sales, let's say, journey.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
That was what we were talking about. So our value proposition is exactly this: the fact that it has 5 functionalities in one, and it's very effective, very versatile, very easy to learn and use for 3 main reasons we're going to talk about very, very shortly. That we offer continuous support, and that we have veterinarian-only protocols which have been developed throughout these 12 years. So here on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see the level of depth we get into. So any type of common disease the veterinarian find itself stuck into, uh, he is able to perform something with our laser machine. And this has proven to be very important because one of the biggest burdens, one of the biggest barriers to the adoption of generally high tech or generally big technologies or new technologies in many sectors is the easiness of use. That is a critical success factor we found. So our value proposition, I would say it's successful because we have our preset procedures for each case. So it's the fact that we showcase on patients in the surgical room, which is very important. We get to the client, to our contact, let's say, and we get with him in the surgical room or in the therapeutic room, and we do it with him. So we showcase the product on patients. And then we do a lot of after sales training and counseling so that he doesn't find himself with a machine and nothing else. So it's the support, which is very important. Um, then what I think it's very important with what we use and what we do is the fact that we have, since we're long-standing in this business, according to the timings of this technology, which is quite new for the veterinary sector, is the fact that we kind of get what are their main problems for each case and main problems they are currently in, in which they don't find easy solutions. And laser applications tend to do that. What we can say one thing I want to say is that the fact that it's easy and effective, that it means there's high precision in the surgical procedures, that you have big cauterization during your procedure, so that when you do soft tissue surgery, you don't have that bleeding, which really impedes you from proceeding further sometimes in surgery. So it's enabling, this technology enables to perform many types of surgeries, and that you have a post-surgical recovery, which is half the post-surgical recovery of traditional surgery. And we have many therapeutic treatments which turned out to be transformational in the post-recovery sessions, and also in the possibility for our pets to have better lives. And so the challenge we want to pose to you is, first of all, to identify our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in our market. The identification of a, let's say, palatable market, let's say, via the analysis of some big indicators. So the dimension of the market, the state of the pet market, and the number of veterinarians and the level of maturity of some of the technologies, which are basically laser technologies, and the degree of use of those technologies. And then probably the most looked for characteristics in the laser technology in the specific market, but if you have the opportunity to do so. And then the entry mode identification for each of those markets or macro markets. We have seen through the analysis, with our first two success stories, let's say, that we need veterinarian level competent salesmen. This is one of the first critical success factors to get into the market. In Romania, for example, we found out this incredible veterinarian who has a big clinic and who also provides technical machinery and also some consumables and pet food to other veterinarians. So he's kind of into both. And then the case of Poland is incredible because we found this fantastic veterinarian who is a cat dermatologist who
I didn't even know that
Each
there is such a profession, I guess. You
Yeah,
did keep
there
that
is
one.
such a profession. You really wouldn't believe your eyes from how many professions are there in this
Well,
field.
I guess, cats may have skin problems. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And she's really an incredible person, and she gives courses to a lot of veterinarians on new ways of performing therapeutic procedures and also surgical procedures. And she's also part in the national let's say training for new veterinarians. So she gets hundreds and hundreds of people at her courses every week. And so
That's a
this
good
is
way to
another
promote a
thing.
product. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a place where to be to promote the product, you know. And so
S-
these are two success stories I would like to give you so that you can understand what is it this like. Obviously, we're talking B2B and we're talking machinery. So the closeness to the market means the ability to showcase it properly, and the fact that solving problems for the client is paramount.
yes. One related question to this. So, what would be then either the typical customer profile or the desired customer profile? So, you mentioned, so I mean, obviously, certain level of technical skill is needed to be able to use the product, but and I assume the client is the veterinarian, but
Yes.
would it be more of a kind of clinic or an individual vet? Would it be, you mentioned zoos, like a zoo place? But could it be also some sort of, I don't know, like maybe ranchers or cattle? I don't know. I guess it would still need to be a professional who uses it, like a cowboy wouldn't use it even if one, had a lot of cows in need of medical attention. So what would be the type of
Yes.
audience, so to speak, the students need to reach to talk about your product?
Yes. Yes. I am talking from a European standpoint, so I am giving you the characteristics inside a specific market, which is set up to be a professional, let's say, professionist more than professional field. So the point is, generally in Europe, we've seen that our main clients, our only client is the veterinarian, the physician, the veterinarian in that field. Generally, veterinarians assemble in clinics, and so what you have is that your main client. It's very difficult to sell more than one machine to a clinic. And so what you have is you're gonna see and be able to, well, your point is the clinic,
Clinic.
and it's 99% of our customers.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Sometimes, well, let's say 90, because we have another 9%, which is freelance veterinarians who are specialists in what they do, and they change from location to location to perform specific procedures in the veterinarian field.
I see. I
So
see.
this is what happens in Italy and in Spain. I don't know if the type of market is, if the market is as such also in other places. In Poland, for example, it's not like that. In Poland, we have some big clinics in the capitals, and then you have all-purpose veterinarians all around the country.
Yes. I actually do have a few questions about national differences, but before we do, I need to exhaust all of the questions that students
Yes.
ask. Training. So, do veterinarians need any specialized training, or is it something they get in the medical school and the machine is more or less universal when it comes to it, to using it?
This depends on what well, generally in Europe, we've seen that they don't get any training about laser technologies in the veterinary school. What we've been doing we have been developing a way, or well, let's say a user experience in the machine, which makes it very, very easy to use. It's preset protocol.
Okay.
You see an otitis, a fistula, a wound. You click wound on the machine, and it starts the procedure.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's our value, our, let's say, biggest pro in terms of our value proposition.
Yep.
We have made it very, very easy. Absolutely. People, when a professional is getting to this machine, he or she needs to have a look at it, get familiar with it. But in the end, when they use it for the 3, 4, 5 times, and we use it together in those times, they kind of get more comfortable around it.
I see. I see.
And so I guess what we are trying to surpass is a general beginner's phase of use of something which is regarded as difficult, but we have made it quite easy.
I see. I see. A couple more product related questions. So you already mentioned language that English, Italian are available. What if someone was interested from a country like, I don't know, Japan or something like that, where the language
Absolutely doable. Absolutely.
doable?
We have the possibility to do to perform the translation in the machine, but also being able to change the language. He or she is
The
able to
software.
change the language into the. I guess we have 8 languages now. We need just to activate them. We have activated the Romanian language for our first client.
I see. I see. Another question, power source. Is it power grid or battery? And if it's power grid, is it 100 and would it work with 110 volt like the United States or Canada, or is it European 220, or can it be universally used in any power grid, or is it battery operated?
Okay, it's not battery operated. You have to attach it to a grid by now, but since we have a unit, we can make it. We can make it with the battery. We have always made it with a cord, so you attach it to the socket.
Hmm.
Mm, and it's 220, but we can make it 110.
Okay.
And yeah, that's basically it. Also, we have the foot switch you use for operating it
Uh-huh.
is a wireless foot switch. So
Uh-huh.
you can so we can also employ this. Uh,
I
well,
see.
we can do what basically almost whatever we want
Okay.
with
Yep.
the
So then
technical stuff.
geographically, it's not limited only to the European power
Yeah.
grid. Another question related to customers. So we know then who the end user is, but when it comes to promotion and distribution, so do you normally sell to the end customer? Is it possible to think about some sort of distributors of medical equipment? Do you have a preference? Are there any regulations about how these distribution channels work?
Okay, so
And it came from a student who was asking, should I talk to distributors or should I talk to veterinarians?
Okay, so what we've been seeing so far is that we have some distributors in Italy, and our Polish and Romanian main agents, we call them distributors. Uh, we have seen that if you have a distributor, you don't want to have a multi-purpose distributor because they tend to not to be very well engaged with the product,
yeah.
and they tend to diversify, and so they may be of use if they are very, very, very good.
Mhm.
But we can sell through distributors. There's no problem, absolutely. We tend to have personal attached. There is no possibility nowadays to book and to buy our laser online. Because we know that by doing it, we would do a bad uh, promotion.
Right, right.
I see that some Chinese companies are doing this. Currently, they have their platform, they have their marketplace, and they say, okay, get one, get one laser. It's at your place. I give you a video on how to operate it, and that's it.
Yeah.
They are not doing anything in Europe exactly due to this strategy. You need to have a person who gets there, or something approximating a person who gets there, and to show in order to destroy the first wall, which is mm, being very well around it in the first time. So it's not it's uneasy around it in the first time.
Yeah. Another question that is related to sort of market and geography. So in Italy, I assume it's regulated and you need to certify the product and you probably need to have a license to operate it. But if there was a country where such regulations are lesser, so do you still need to clear the sale through some Italian institutions, or you can ship it anywhere and let them worry about the licensing? And there was one interesting question in that regard. Somebody said, what if in our country there is no restriction on whether you can use it, can or cannot use it on humans? Technically, the product probably would work on human skin just like it works on cat skin or dog skin. So again, would there be any constraints on that from the country of origin point of view, Italy, or as long as the customers have the permission to do it in whatever country they use it, you as the manufacturer have no constraints and restrictions on it?
Okay, so I know the regulation on the European community. The regulation European community is a laser system, and it has its characteristics in the laser well, communitarian regulation, and also in the a common regulation that's also the same in US. So that, for example, there are some buttons in this machine which are precisely put in order for it to be as safe as possible. And so, according to the characteristics, the external characteristics of the laser machine, and it's designed for both human and veterinarian purposes. There is, however, the fact that what we are seeing now is the fact that it's impossible. I want to get it very clearly out. It's impossible because there are huge firms investing in this area for humans. We have been successful because we know the characteristics of the veterinarian markets and because we are called LaserVet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
guess, yeah,
it's
for you,
out of this.
the name will make it difficult.
Yes, so it's out of the scope because we have a specific mission,
Yeah,
and without of the
well,
scope would make it not our nature and also not our capabilities.
yeah, 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 totally
So that's
understandable.
it.
Yeah,
So, but in general, in some places, it's possible to use it on humans, yes,
yeah, yeah.
but we are not gonna do that.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And that's important because students need also to know sort of what kind of customers to potentially approach.
Yes, and so
Marketing.
yeah, and so our customer is basically the clinic. Generally, when there is a little hierarchy in which they can have what we typically see in a clinic is that when they buy the machine, they start to switch and put a new person, a young veterinarian in charge of the therapeutic sessions. So they then decouple a bit more and organize their workloads so that they have everyone getting there and getting their treatment every day. So that's what we can see. So a freelance veterinarian, which who can bring the laser with himself, so because it's not very big, it's like this, and also clinics in which there are young, uh, willing to learn veterinarians, but also big surgeons who use it regularly. We have the four biggest surgeons, most well-known surgeons in Italy of cats and dogs who use our laser and who currently promote our laser.
Price. So I'm not sure if you have fixed pricing or you discuss it in every specific case, but basically, what is your pricing strategy?
Okay, our pricing strategy depends on the market. Our strategy depends on the market, but we currently lead to well, our basic face value price, which we do not disclose. So it's between 12,000 and 14,000 euros for the IVET,
Mhm.
and 7 to 9,000 for the Vega.
Yeah. So I don't know how the prices are in other countries, but for something sophisticated as this machine for the US market, I assume that's actually not much. So
Yes,
I know,
we are not according to the Italian well, in the Italian market we are in the lower end
yeah, yeah.
of the
I know
price.
that here in the United States, at least for humans, like a kid breaks my kid broke an arm, and just the
Okay.
cast can easily be like a couple $1,000s, this 3D printed thing.
Yes.
And that's, I assume, a very simple thing. Marketing strategy. So how do you currently market your product? And I guess some students ask, is it only through professional trade fairs, or are there also ways to reach those, like direct mail, or do you employ sales personnel? So what are your current strategies?
Okay. Our current strategy is based on three pillars, but we are developing it by the time we are getting there, because we are starting to put some mind in it very recently, since just very recently. The first basic strategy is to get to fairs, showcase the product because people want to see it. It's very 1990 strategy because we see that the people in Italy and also everywhere around Europe still do things this way. So we do it this way. We have our website in which there is access to all the procedures you can do before and after. So it's like it's a big part. That's certainly a big part. But the one-to-one strategy is our strategy nowadays, and it's been proven to be very effective. But we know it's a burden. It's a problem now. So this is our main thing. Well, in Spain, we have a strategy which was built with our distributor, who is also who is currently his previous job was to be inside a he was chief editor at a journal of clinical procedures, and so he developed it's a weekly digest which goes through email to veterinarians in Spain, and which there is our product advertised. No, I cannot hear you. There is no.
Oh, sorry. There is a question that I missed. Somebody
Oh,
asked here, will this work for a traveling vet who works in a field?
absolutely, absolutely. Since it's not big, since it's very, very, very little. Well, it's like yes, it's 40 times
Can fit in a car, right?
25. Yes, it can fit. Well, it can fit in a suit. We have our own suitcase. Well, our own case for it.
For carrying it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for carrying it, and it's 2.5 kilograms.
Oh,
Three,
okay. Then it's
three,
definitely,
three
yeah,
kilograms, two and a
about.
half, 3 kilograms. No, yeah, it's portable. It's portable.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's great.
The point is we have seen, well, we have always sold it with a cord. So you get to a place where you need so you need the grid, the attachment to the grid, but we can do it without. We have never been asked to do it to do it with the battery, but we can definitely do it, and it's definitely possible
Yeah, good
within
to know.
within 1 month. You see the big part of the market that could be potentially addressable through this strategy. We get it. Our manufacturer is very, very sweet.
Good to know. Yeah, yeah. Well, we are pretty much out of time, so I'm not sure if we'll have the time for the demo. Maybe not. But one, both tip from me, but maybe you have some additional comments. Interviewing potential users. So in the instructions, you guys see that as an option. From my end, I would highly recommend that you try to find a veterinarian clinic in your area and go and talk to them. Ask them, are they using lasers? If so, where do they buy them? How did they make those decisions? Have they heard anything about LaserVet? Would they be open to the idea of buying the Italian product? So by talking to them, you will accomplish several things. One, it's a unique product. It's not, ice cream or whatever we buy every day. So you need to understand how the customer thinks. And so that interview will position you much, much better to write a quality consulting report. Second, there is always a chance that when you talk about the product, the veterinarian will say, "Oh, this is better than what I use. I want to buy it." So in that case, obviously, when you bring, and I guess with Alessandro here, maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but from my point as a teacher, you definitely impress your client much more when you bring a contract or a letter of intent to buy the product than when you simply bring ideas. But also, it's a good experience for you to do so. And as I said, from my experience, students always learn a lot through these conversations. And often you expand your professional network, you exchange cards. So who knows how and when you may need to talk to that clinic again. It always can lead to some interesting opportunities in the end. And so here in the challenge instructions that you have, you even have some suggested questions and you have some strategies on how to approach it. I highly recommend it. As I said, it's a good exercise that will serve you well in the future. But the question I have related to that is any tips to the students if they decided to talk to a veterinarian or a clinic manager? So any suggestions for how to do it right? So to get, the best information and outcome?
Well, uh, my general strategy, I've been also during my free time in going around Italy and also Spain and Poland selling the machine,
Yeah.
and I see that mm, just like what we said, the first thing is what are your problems in your clinic? What's the thing, the set of things, of procedures, of problems, which you happen not to be solving really? So you did, well, what we've been seeing here that our three best therapeutic treatments, every client then calls back to say, thank you really very much for this use, are these three. Autohematoma, so when the dog with big ears crashes the ear in a door or in something, it gets swollen and it gets black, and you are able, with our procedure, to remove everything to get everything back. Mm, and also wound therapy and otitis, which are very, very long procedures if you do it naturally and generally in the traditional way. And in this way, you can do it in half the time, less than half the effort. And so the biggest thing I would say is like, what are your biggest problems there? In therapeutic treatments, I would get there and starting with our list we have here. Well, let's get to that. As getting to starting from this list, then is it long? Can we do it better? And this is the thing. And then showing some of the videos could be nice,
Yeah.
in order to show how easy and effective it is.
And you do
Uh,
have a copy of this of these slides of this presentation. So in the challenge
Absolutely,
instructions, yeah. So the students have a link so you can watch and use those QR codes. You have access to that.
absolutely.
Okay, well, informative. Thank you so much. So let's stop here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so let's hope students will bring you a lot of interesting ideas and maybe even contracts, and we'll see how things go. So,
Yes.
students, good
Only
luck to you. And yeah, this company,
okay.
unlike many others, it's not only doing well in terms of, economically in business, but also it's doing good. I mean, it's a medical product, helps animals. So you kind of make a positive difference in the world as well by helping this company.
Yeah, I'm glad I can participate in this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, everyone, good night. Have a nice day. Good morning, wherever you are. Good night.
Bye bye, everyone.